Are you a performer? Do you like to perform live music, dance, make speeches, or take part in theatrical productions? On the other hand, maybe you like to have a good time watching these performers whether from business. Either way, there is information in this video that will be relevant and important for you. First, you will need to be familiar with related rights. Copyright-related rights or related rights refer to rights of organizations and individuals to performances, phonograms, video recordings, broadcast, and encrypted program carrying satellite signals. Related rights arise when a performance, phonogram, video recording, broadcast, or encrypted program carrying satellite signal is fixed or displayed without any prejudice to copyright. Protected related rights include rights of performers, rights of producers of audio or visual fixation, and rights of broadcasting organizations. Before going to find out rights of performers, first we need to know who are performers and to check whether you are considered as a performer or not. So, Article 16 of Vietnam 2005 Intellectual Property Law lists organizations and individuals eligible for protection of related rights, including actors or actresses, singers, instrumentalists, dancers, and other persons who perform literary and artistic works, hereinafter referred to collectively as performers. Rights of performers are the rights that a performer has to their creative work, which ties to their performance. Under the Article 3 of Vietnam Intellectual Property Law, subject matters of intellectual property rights, or in other words, the particular performance which you, as a performer, have rights in, is defined as literary, artistic, or scientific works. Subject matters of copyright-related rights include performances, phonograms, video recordings, broadcasts, and encrypted program carrying satellite signals. These performances are given by Vietnamese residents residing in Vietnam or elsewhere, as well as by foreigners living in Vietnam. Any performance that meets the aforementioned conditions, whether it is theatrical work, musical work, circus performances, or dance, will be eligible for protection under Vietnam intellectual property law. So, in order to succeed in performing arts, you must know all of your rights. Per Article 18 of Vietnam Intellectual Property Law, copyright in works shall include two types, moral rights and economic rights. Moral rights of performers comprise of the right to be acknowledged when performing, broadcasting, or distributing, and to protect the integrity of the imagery of the performance, and to prevent others from modifying, editing, distorting the performance in any way prejudicial towards the honor and integrity of the performer. Economic rights of performers contain to formulate live performances on phonograms or video recordings, to reproduce, broadcast, or distribute performances to the public. Performers who also invest their finance and material facilities in performances are deemed as owners and entitled to economic rights. Performers who do not invest their finance and material facilities are only entitled to moral rights. The rights of performers are protected for 50 years, calculated from a year following the year of formulation into a fixed form of their performances, and shall expire at 24 hours of December 31st of the year of expiration of the protection term, according to Article 29 and 34 of 2005 Law on Intellectual Property. Then, what exactly constitutes an infringement of performance rights? First, impersonating the performers. Second, publishing, producing, and distributing without permission of performers, producers of phonograms, video recordings, modifying, mutilating, or distorting performances in whatever form prejudicial to the honor and reputation of performers. Copying or reciting fixed performances, phonograms, video recordings, and broadcasts without permission of the performers or producers. Publishing, distributing or importing for public distribution performances copies of fixed performances or phonograms or video recordings when knowing or having grounds to know that right management information in electric form has been disengaged or modified without permission of related right holders. Moreover, knowing who does not require your permission or pay you royalties or remunerations to use your works is the final key to mastering performance rights. The first one is a researcher who uses a portion of your stage to present his findings on how various vocalists approach the high notes. A music or art school instructor or lecturer can accomplish the same thing by copying one of your stages and presenting it in class as an example for the session. If your performance has already been utilized in an instructional program, the lecturer must first obtain your consent. It's also okay if a parent performs a recitation of your great song for his kid to tell him that something relevant to it. There's no need to get your permission. Except for the first, none of these activities will infringe on your rights as a performer. To help you guys understand more about rights of performers, we have an interesting case. In 2019, mainstream media reported that American manager Scooter Braun acquired the record label Big Machine. As part of the deal, all master recordings for Taylor Swift's first 6 audio albums were then owned by Braun. Because of the prior conflicts between Swift and Braun, she condemned Braun's purchase, called him an insane, manipulated bully, and claimed that she had been trying to buy the masters for years but was offered unfavorable conditions. The controversy and disputes were highly publicized, drawing widespread attention and media coverage since both Swift and Braun were well-known celebrities. The case prompted a discourse on artist rights and intellectual property. It also encouraged new artists to carefully negotiate before signing any contracts with record labels in order to protect their rights and benefits. In 2005, American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift signed a 13-year contract with Big Machine Records. The deal gave Big Machine the ownership of the masters of Swift's first 6 albums, which were released from 2006 to 2017, including Taylor Swift 2006, Fearless 2008, Speak Now 2010, Red 2012, 1989, 2014, and Reputation 2017. Although not owning the masters, Swift role as the main songwriter of all of the songs released under the Big Machine, she retained the publishing rights. According to the U.S. copyright law, any music recording is subjected to 2 distinct types of ownership. The ownership of the sound recording, which is referred as owning a master, the first recording of the music, from which copies are made for sales and distributions, or economic rights. The ownership for musical work, which is referred as publishing rights or moral rights. It covers the lyrics of the musical work before it became a sound recording, its melodies, sheet music, composition, and instrumental arrangements. When the dispute broke out, Swift and Big Machine blamed each other as the reason for everything, and the public seemed to support Swift. After many negotiations, Swift failed to gain the ownership of the masters. However, because Swift owned the publishing rights, she decided to re-record all of her first 6 studio albums to sound like the original recordings as much as possible. The re-recorded albums are identified by the note Taylor version added to all album titles and song titles to differentiate them from the old recordings. Her actions give her own the rights to own both publishing rights, which she already had, and control of licensing of her songs for commercial use. On April 9, 2021, she released her first re-recording album Fearless, Taylor's version, followed by the release of Red, Taylor's version, on November 19, 2021. The publications of 2 re-recording albums made both of the original recordings fall off the chart completely, and Taylor was also praised by many critics and other artists, viewing her move as an act of preservation of artists' rights. So this is all information about performance rights. Hopefully this video has made performance rights clearer for you, as well as the remedies you may obtain if you are a performer and your work has been infringed. We are Group 3, A through Crew, from Intellectual Property class in Florence University. And we hope that you have enjoyed our video. Last but not least, our team would like to thank teachers Leha and Ms. Dai Zhang for being very patient and enthusiastic in providing us with useful lessons about intellectual property. We are very grateful and thank you very much.